Let me guess. You've been eyeing the Siskiu T-Series, but now you're wondering, should I get the T6, the T7, the T8, or maybe even the T9? How do you know which one is right for you? In today's video, I'm breaking down everything from that budget-friendly T6 all the way up to that top-end Polygon Siskiu T9 to help you decide which one is right for you and your budget. The Polygon Siskiu lineup is really known for its value-packed performance. Each model shares the same exact frame design, sleek looking aluminum frame design, super clean welds, good paint scheme, threaded bottom bracket with those chain guide mount tabs in case you want to run that chain guide or that bash guard on there. The frame is designed around this linkage driven single pivot that gives you 140 millimeters of rear wheel travel in the smaller frame sizes that offer 27.5 inch wheels and 135 millimeters of rear wheel travel in larger frame sizes like this right here, running on 29 inch wheels. And all Siskiu T-Series come with modern things like sleek internal cable routing, boost spacing, and of course, a dropper post. All bikes share the same exact geometry with that 65-degree head tube angle that's the perfect amount of slack for a trail bike like this. It's got a nice steep 77-degree seat tube angle, so you're gonna be able to climb uphill with ease and smash back down those single track trails with confidence. Now the frame is not UDH compatible, so you're gonna have to buy the Polygon specific derailleur hanger, but let me know in the comments down below. How do you guys feel about UDH or those universal derailleur hangers? It's really only became a big factor since SRAM released their new transmission drivetrains, but I've heard some mixed reviews on the SRAM transmission, and for me, UDH compatibility isn't a deal breaker, but I'm interested to hear your thoughts and if that's something you really consider when looking at a new bike. So all Polygon T-Series share that same exact frame design, but what really sets each one of these bikes apart is the level of suspension, drivetrain, and overall components that come on each model. So as I go through the T-Series lineup, I'm mainly gonna talk about those differences as well as some of the pros and cons to each model. Now I got timestamps down there along the bottom if you wanna skip and you're looking for a specific bike, or maybe you just wanna skip back and forth. I also got links down there in the video descriptions. You see down there where it says ... more? Click on that, get to the video description. Those links, they do help support the channel, but more importantly, it gives you guys an easy way to click a link and get exactly to that bike if you decide you want to purchase one. Now let's kick things off with the cheapest bike in the lineup, the Polygon Siskiu T6. The T6 is really your gateway into full suspension mountain biking at a current sale price of just $1,199, which is an amazing price for a full suspension mountain bike. At its core, you get RockShox Recon Silver RL fork with 150 millimeters of suspension travel in those smaller frame sizes with the 27.5 wheels, and 140 millimeter fork on the larger frame sizes like this right here with the 29 inch wheels. It's paired with an X-Fusion O2 Pro rear shock, which is solid for beginners who want a full suspension setup without breaking the bank. This thing also features a Shimano 10-speed drivetrain with 11 to 42 cassette, which will get the job done for casual riders, but it might leave you wanting just a little bit more gear range for those steeper climbs. The brakes are the Shimano MT201 hydraulic disc brakes. They're entry level, but I've rode these brakes on bikes in the past, you guys, and I've honestly been pretty dang impressed with the amount of power that come out of these budget brakes. The rest of the parts and components on the T6 are the entity components that come stocked on all the Polygon bikes and a Trans X dropper. So that's a quick rundown of the parts that are unique to the T6. Now let's go over some of the pros and the cons of this bike. For the pros, it's an affordable bike, right? You got that affordable price, you're getting a good frame with boost spacing, so it's easy to upgrade over time. It gives you a suspension platform that's good for the price, and it comes with tubeless ready wheels and tires. But the cons on the T6 is it comes with that, only that 10-speed drivetrain, so definitely limited. It also has basic suspension, only has 2 piston brakes front and rear, which are good enough for casual rides, but might leave you, lacking braking power, especially if you're doing like some steeper, longer downhill runs where those rotors start to heat up. And on a trail bike, to be honest, or at least most of the bikes I ride, I really like to see 4 piston brakes front and rear. And for just a little bit more money, you could step it up to the next model, which is the Polygon Siskiu T7. The T7 is what I'd call the sweet spot in this lineup. At that price, you get 2 color options. You're looking at that neon blue to green fade, or you get this color right here that's got that light gray and black with those chrome graphics. This is by far my favorite color frame in that T-Series lineup. You're getting the same exact RockShox Recon fork up front, but you get a much better rear shock with the RockShox Deluxe Select Plus. That's going to make a huge difference in the overall ride quality of this bike. Another big upgrade is that Shimano 12-speed drivetrain with 11 to 51 tooth cassette. The only really downside to this cassette right here is it is a Sunrace cassette, and you can kind of tell just by looking at it, it's not quite as high of quality as like a Shimano Dior cassette would be, so this will probably wear down a little bit quicker over time, but I will say I was pretty dang surprised with how well this bike was shifting on the few times I've rode it so far. For the brakes on the T7, you get the Tektro 4+2 hydraulic brakes, which I had my doubts about because they got the 4 piston brakes up front, but it's only got that 2 piston brake caliper right there in the rear. So I wasn't sure how well these brakes were gonna stop me on the way downhill, but on the couple rides I've had on this bike, I've had no issues with these 4+2 Tektro brakes. So that's a basic overview of the Siskiu T7. Now let's go over the pros and the cons of this specific model. So you got that 12-speed shifting, that wider gear range. You got better brakes on this one, improved suspension performance with that upgraded rear shock, and you get 2 color choices. The T6 you only had 1, and on this you get 2 different color options, which also include my very favorite color in the T-Series lineup. But the cons on this bike, it is a slightly higher price, which could put it out of budget for some riders. And it still has that 2 piston brake in the rear, which, like I said, I really like to see 4 piston front and rear. Finally, it has some heavier components spec'd on it, like that cheaper 12-speed Sunrace cassette on the back and that heavy Recon fork on the front. And the smartest way to get a better fork would be to save up $300 more and go to the next model on the lineup, which is the Polygon Siskiu T8. Now the T8 model steps things up quite a bit, and this is where you start to get a truly capable bike. For suspension, you get a Fox 34 rhythm fork and a Fox Float DPS rear shock. This is where you start to feel a really big difference in quality when you're riding those more technical downhill trails. It's ultimately going to give you much smoother descending platform, more control, and just a lot more confidence. You're also getting a Shimano SLX shifter and derailleur, which is really going to increase your shifting performance and look a lot better as well. The brakes are upgraded to 4 piston brakes front and rear paired with 180mm rotors that are going to give you ample stopping power when you're sending it down those single track trails. Now you get Shimano or Tektro brakes depending on what they have in supply when you order the bike, but drop a comment down below. Do you or anyone you know own a T8? Which brakes came on your bike, the Shimano or the Tektro? Either way, you're getting more stopping power, which leads to more confidence on those steep, fast trails. Now with the T8, you get 3 color options. A color they call metallic gold sunburst black, which is my least favorite color. But then you have that purple and black option, and you got this charcoal option that's got these golden orange polygon graphics on the down tube, which I think looks amazing. Now let's talk about the T8 pros and cons. For the pros, you get that Fox suspension, you get that Shimano SLX shifting, and then you finally get those 4 piston brakes front and rear. Plus this bike comes in 3 different color options, which is great for those of you that have a specific color you're looking for. But the cons on this bike is it's definitely a higher price, especially compared to the T6, and it's still not quite as good as the next bike on the lineup, the Polygon Siskiu T9. The T9 is a flagship model in the Siskiu lineup designed for riders who really want that top tier performance. Now, I was lucky enough to ride and own the T9 for a little bit. I took that thing on everything from basic single track trails to like the gnarliest double black trails at my lift access bike park.
Oh, hey.
It comes with the Fox 36 Performance Elite fork, a Float X Performance rear shock, which is amazing suspension for a bike like this. The T9 is really going to give you that unmatched control and confidence on those aggressive trails. It's equipped with Shimano XT drivetrain, which offers some of the best shifting on the market. It comes with TRP DHR Evo brakes, 4-piston calipers, front and rear. Some of my favorite brakes you can get. If you're looking for a bike that can handle anything from those local trails to those bike park laps, the T9 is the one to get. Woo. So that's the T9, and here goes the pros and the cons, right? For the pros, you're getting that premium suspension. Fox premium suspension, not gonna need to upgrade it. You get those race level components with those TRP DHR Evo brakes, excellent braking power. Oh, and one other thing I forgot to mention is that T9 actually comes with an upgraded saddle. Most of the Polygon bikes come with these cheaper Entity saddles that they'll work. I have some friends that like them, but I always get rid of these saddles and upgrade to something just a little bit better. So on that T9, it's nice that it comes with that upgraded saddle already on it. But the Siskiu T9 definitely has some downsides, so let's go over a couple cons. First of all, that high price, which may put it out of budget for some of you guys out there looking for the best value trail bike. Second of all is that the suspension on there, well, it is amazing. The Fox 36 Performance Elite fork comes with a Grip 2 damper, a lot of settings on that fork, high speed compression, low speed compression, high speed rebound, low speed rebound. Takes a little bit longer to get that fork dialed in, and a brand new rider getting their full suspension mountain bike may not even realize the benefits of this higher end suspension. But the biggest con on the Polygon Siskiu T9 is the fact that it only comes in one color. Now, I like that forest green with those kind of Kashima colored graphics, but being the highest model in the Siskiu lineup, I really wish you had more color options. And to be honest, I wish you could get the T9 in this gray and black color right here that I got on the T7. So how do you decide which Siskiu is right for you? Here's my quick breakdown. The T6 is best for beginners or those on a tight budget who want an entry-level full suspension mountain bike. The T7 is perfect for intermediate riders looking for the best value and performance under $1,500. The T8 is great for advanced riders who need better suspension and drivetrain performance. The T9 is great for experienced riders looking to tackle that technical terrain and want a bike that can really handle it all. My advice is to pick a bike that fits your budget and your skill level. The T6 and the T7 are at the very bottom of the lineup, but they offer you the lowest price and give you a great way to get into riding a full suspension mountain bike, and you can always slowly upgrade those bikes over time. So if you're just starting out, the T6 offers you a great value and lets you start to hit those trails without that huge investment. The T7 is perfect if you have just a little bit more money to spend and you want that, what I call kind of like that best bang for your buck model. If you're a rider that wants those more premium style components, the T8 is probably perfect for you. And finally, the T9 is for those looking for that top tier bike that they're not gonna have to do many upgrades to. But let me know down there in the comments, which T-Series are you looking at right now? And if you guys have found this video helpful, definitely subscribe to the channel, smash that like, stay tuned for more reviews on bikes just like this. And remember guys, at the end of the day, whether you're getting that budget-friendly T6 or that premium T9, make sure you get a bike that gets you stoked to go ride and have fun, people.